And
All right.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Let's Go live show here on www.letsgopodcast.com. Actually, we're on youtube.com. If you're here, you're watching, or if you're watching this later, welcome. We are here to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's come out. It's been a long time coming, but it is here now. And what we're going to do is talk about it openly, honestly, and we're going to give some, hopefully, a diverse amount of thoughts. I hope that we all are coming across things a little differently, because what we don't want to do is be all saying the same thing. But we cannot start this show without the Carusos. There we go. I see you guys. You guys are hiding at the bottom. I'm so sorry. That's what happened to me yesterday.
How are you?
Good. We're doing good, man. We just launched in. So, anyways, we're excited. I just want to talk about everyone who's here real quick, and we're going to jump into the show because this show is going to be nice and lean. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we've all been watching TV a lot lately, and so we want to give you guys a compact amount of show, but at the same time, give everybody's thoughts. And so off the bat, I'm going to just go right to my right. I'm going to talk to there's Emmett. We got Emmett Davis here right to the show. We got Nick and Nico Caruso from the Vigilante 1939 show. Always like saving up space. You know, we could have two people up here, but they're combining into one. We got Zeddy. How you doing, Zeddy, from the Vigilante 1939 show as well. We got Chris Evans, the Let's Go ass. Chris Evans, he is here, part of the site. And we got Cindy the intern, who's part of Let's Go Royalty. Check out her interview with Emmett a couple weeks ago on the Now You Know. So, yeah, man. So I'm excited to do this show. I'm excited for us to kind of talk about our thoughts from the weekend. But first, I just want to open it up. If anybody has any questions on YouTube, hit us up, and we will try to answer them as they come in. But we're going to get into our thoughts. But first, it was our expectations. What were our expectations coming in to Zack Snyder's Justice League? I'm going to go with Cindy first, because she's the one who's like completely like not out of the loop, but I feel like you're going to have the freshest eyes on this stuff. So, Cindy, give us your expectations.
I had really low expectations. I thought I was gonna hate it, honestly. I don't know if I really like Zack Snyder as a director, and so it was one of those things where I was like, is this 4 hours gonna be something that I actually want to like suffer through? But yeah, those were my expectations.
Wow. So you're using the word suffer.
Yes, I went in with very low expectations. It was like bottom of the barrel.
Bottom of the barrel. Wow. All right. Very, very interesting take that you have there, Cindy. I'm like, now I'm really curious as to what you're going to say as the show goes on. But right now, I'm going to jump into my man, Chris. Where were you at, bro?
I had pretty high expectations. I thought I was going to enjoy it just for at least the Affleck stuff, you know. But I did not expect it to be like amazing. I just thought it would be good at least. And I was looking forward to certain aspects of it.
All right. Emmett, the man from the north, what you got?
Yeah, so I tried to temper my expectations just because of how big and crazy the movie was going to be. So I was actually telling myself that it was going to be bad, just so when it was good, I felt good about it. I'm the opposite side of Cindy. I absolutely love Zack Snyder as a director. So I still expected myself to like the movie, but I tried to level those expectations in a kind of around the middle. And especially because we had heard, this movie's unwatchable. There's, they didn't release this movie for a reason, right? So I guess I was kind of right around there.
All right. Zeddy.
Yeah, I was super, super high on this thing. I mean, as somebody that loved Man of Steel and BVS, and as somebody that, and again, this is me, but as somebody that really felt disrespected by that theatrical cut of Justice League, I needed something to kind of cleanse the palate a little bit because it felt like a virtual slap to the face to me. And again, it's your prerogative if you love it. This is me. But as I kind of said on Vigilante, you know, if Warner Brothers gave me that virtual slap to the face, then this was Zach giving me that nice ice pack to give on my cheek. So, super.
Or maybe it was Zach giving you a reach around. I don't know. So we're gonna go to the
You said it, not me. Not me. You said it, not
We
me.
couldn't even get 10 minutes into the show without the
Man.
wow.
Expectations were high. I mean, you guys already know.
Yeah, I expect the best and no less. So
What are you? It was high. Of course. That's all I got for you, man.
That's all you got, man. So I wanted to play this clip of our man Zeddy. I don't know if y'all saw it. I want you guys to vote. I want you guys to vote of our man Zeddy kicking off your guys' show last week for the tailgate party.
Oh, is this brilliant?
oh, this
This is my. I mean, it's already on the internet. It's not like I'm playing something no one's seen.
Brilliant.
But I love it, and I think since I'm producing, I'm going straight to it. This is
Go
my
ahead.
man Zeddy. This is his hype, and because I want to talk about expectations. This guy had the expectations. Here is raw expectations from our man Zeddy.
We're singing out, go, Zach, go. Go, Zach, go. Hey, Warner Brothers, what do you say? Let's release the Snyder Cut. Zach's got the power. He's got the fans to be the best that HBO Max has ever seen.
Dude, he's going. I love this.
Justice League is coming out, whether you like it or not.
I hope there's 2 verses.
We're singing out, go, Zach, go. Go, Zach, go. Yo.
Whoa.
Man, that is expectation right there, and I loved it, man. I was trying to put a beat down on it, but here's the thing. I guess I don't know a lot about a lot of stuff, so I didn't know that's an actual song for Go Cubs.
That's
I found
right.
out.
From
Okay,
a Sox
I
fan.
didn't-
He's a Sox fan.
Oh my gosh, that's how hyped he was. He took another team's. He took another love. I love of another team and put it on himself. So, anyways, I really like that, Zeddy. That was amazing. And so
Thank you.
when I was watching that, I was like, oh man, dude, I gotta use this clip. So, all right, I'm not going to get into open discussion yet because it's going to come up naturally. We have a lot of stuff to be popping up. But now I want to get into because we're going to get into
Wait,
more
Justin,
about.
what were your expectations? You didn't tell
Yeah.
me.
My expectations. My expectations. I was really excited for this because I'm a Zack Snyder fan. I think I was going into it though with a bunch of the nonsense. You guys, there's been so much nonsense. There's definitely a sect of fandom that gets excited, and then there's a sense of fandom that gets entitled. And I was talking to one of our guys, Mike Terrell, today about it because he was watching it, and I actually was trying to get on the show if you can come on the show, and he was just like, "Oh, he can't, he's busy." But what he was saying is like, man, there's definitely a sect of fandom that just has blinders on, and I'm not talking to any of you guys. So just so if I'm talking in general because I like that we're all coming from different avenues. Like I'm excited, but I'm not as excited as say like Nico might have been as excited. You know. I'm kind of like I'm a little tempered in it. I'm like I'm excited, but man, some of these people made it so hard to be excited because it's almost like you're validating turds. I'm like I ain't trying to validate the turds. I'm just trying to be like excited on my own merit on what I've seen because I love Zack Snyder's style. I think his style is second to none. I think he shows up like on to a set. He has a healthy set. People love him. He like encourages a great working environment, and so I want to see that paid off. I want to see that. All that work that everyone did, I want to see that, honored. And so whatever went down, I don't really understand about, why they made the decisions, and we can get into that later. But my expectations was, I have a huge question mark. I want to see what the hype was. I want to see what the problems were. I want to see like what was so bad we couldn't see. So I had a huge curiosity going into it, and then we got it. And so we're gonna get all that stuff down. So yeah, as far as my expectations was like 10 out of 10. Can't wait to watch this. Obviously I watched it the night it came out. I had to wake up early the next day. That's how excited I was. I didn't care about my next day. That's how excited. So but here's what I want to do. I'm gonna let you all vote. I'm gonna let everybody vote. Let me see what's going on here. My turds don't need validation. No, they don't, Eric. No, they don't. So
Little pat on the back.
Yeah. He's like, hey, FYI. But so what do you guys want? Do you guys want to talk hype first, or do you want to talk gripe? Because I want to get in our gripes and our hypes, because I think we have to get those out of the way to get into the kind of the meat of the conversation. So what are you guys thinking? Hypes or gripes?
Hype.
Hype. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys want to end
Let's end it
sour.
on a low. Let's just.
All right, so we're gonna go hypes. We're gonna go hype. They want to get hype. All right, so since my Carusos have said hype, what was the biggest hype you guys of this film? Watching this film, what got you guys hyped the most?
To me, all the Flash stuff. The two big
yeah.
scenes in the two big scenes. The first scene, and then his scene at the end where he does his sort of huge thing to reset and save the world. As someone who's a big Flash fan, I was waiting for him on the big screen for a while, and I like Ezra Miller as an actor, so I tried to sort of get behind him in the theatrical cut, but he really doesn't do much at all. So the fact that his two biggest scenes in here are two of my favorite of the film made me very happy. It was very cool. I really like what Zack Snyder did with the Speed Force. It's a little different than what we've seen, especially when you look at like the TV show or the animated stuff. So that was my biggest hype. How about you?
Yeah, my hype was Ben Affleck, because I thought he was horrible in the theatrical cut.
Oh yeah,
He didn't look good. The lines that they gave him were so cringeworthy. So I was looking for him to reestablish himself as probably one of the best, maybe the best Batman on screen. The best Batman, maybe. Yes. So that was from what I could see from the trailers, it looked like that's what we were going to get. So he delivered on that. It was great.
yeah. He didn't have that goofy smile anymore. That like, oh, Superman.
No more of that. Now I'm bleeding or whatever. That was
I didn't not like.
Yeah.
you.
Right. Oh,
And he
man.
just looked good. That's what was great about it, was that it was the same. Everybody looked really good in this movie because the reshoots made it look bad. So
Yeah, that's for sure. All right. That's your thoughts. Those are your hypes.
Well, I mean, I don't want to steal. I was hyped.
Hey, you got it. This is your turn, man.
Yeah.
I was hyped. I was hyped for 4 hours and 2 minutes, 3 different times. So
There we go.
that's all you
Yeah.
need to know from us. Let the rest of the folks.
Yeah,
share
I
their
mean,
thoughts.
what we saw in the trailers. I mean, the CGI, the everything looked great. So I was hyped for the visual presentation, because again, the theatrical cut looked horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it just didn't look good. Steppenwolf's design, he looked more menacing. He looked real. Darkseid. So all of that, I was hyped for just the way it was going to look. I was like you a little bit, Justin. I was a little cautiously optimistic too, because the story was going to be the same plot. It wasn't like it was going to be a big change from what the theatrical cut was, but it was how it was going to be presented and how all the characters were going to have their day in the sun to get fleshed out. So
Yeah.
they checked all the boxes on that. I mean, it was great.
Good. All right, Emmett, what you got, dude? What was your hype?
Yeah, my hype was the action scenes were so well put together. Like, one of the things Zack Snyder does the best is he knows how to direct an action scene. A lot of people hate BVS, but I don't think anybody will say they dislike the Martha rescue scene. And, that stuff kind of carried over for me with I want to say the 3 big action scenes, the Themyscira one, and then like the tunnel battle, and then the final battle. I think they were edited perfectly. Like, I know some people don't like the editing in the movie, but I found the action sequences just to be so big in scale, so grand. And picking off the action scenes in Themyscira, like how menacing Steppenwolf was in this, was a little bit, well, obviously a lot more than the theatrical cut. So I really, really like Steppenwolf and how menacing, like he was. It's funny, Sandberg, director of Shazam, was hyped because he was smashing ponies, and his Twitter handle was Pony Smasher.
That's funny.
Anyway, so like he was such more of a badass in this one. You could actually tell that he was killing the Amazons, and like he mentioned it in the theatrical cut, but you didn't actually like see a lot of it. So the menacing nature of Steppenwolf was a big hype for me, and he carried that over to Darkseid. Actually seeing Darkseid in this movie, like he doesn't do anything, like he talks and he looks like a real badass, but like there was a movie with Darkseid, and I thought he looked great. I thought he sounded great, and you know, I wish there was more of Darkseid, but you know, the action scenes were the biggest thing for me. You know, especially that first one in Themyscira, where you know, Diane Nelson, she says, or Steppenwolf says something about, "I'm here for your fear. I'm gonna smell your fear." And then she says, you know, Amazon, show him your fear. And then they say, "I have no fear."
Yeah,
like that was such a, you know,
and then they all became Green Lanterns.
Yeah. When my wife was watching it, she was like, "That sounds like something you say before like a football game, you know, just to get hyped up, you know." And that's what it felt like to me. It felt like the hype was real in those, was seeing those Amazons, you know, kick total ass.
Nice. All right, Chris.
I don't want to echo Emmett and Mr. C, but I gotta be honest, the action was amazing to me.
Yeah.
And seeing Ben Affleck back as Batman was ideal. That's what I wanted going into this. That's what I was waiting for, and I got it. He is perfect in this movie, I think, as Batman and Bruce Wayne. He nails it. I think that Affleck is to Bruce Wayne the way Robert Downey Jr. is to Tony Stark.
Wow, that's
I
great.
love
Yeah.
And I think that's what we got here, finally. Other than that, you know, again, not to echo, but the Flash scene, both of them, the big scenes were great. I also surprisingly liked Cyborg. Cyborg is not a character I'm big on, not in comics or any other medium.
Yeah.
I liked this version of him. I thought Ray Fisher did a great job. Snyder did a wonderful job in introducing him to the audience and kind of doing that slow build of this is some kind of like creature that nobody likes, or he doesn't like himself, I guess. And then, you know, you have him at the end and he's fully realized and he's in a better place. You know, he has a huge arc in this movie, and I really like that too.
Nice. All right, Zeddy.
Where do I begin? I mean, just so
I'm gonna play that clip again.
yeah. I mean, so much of this movie I was hyped for. I mean, everybody seemed like they fit more accordingly. Everybody had a rightful place in this movie. I mean, the plot made just so much more sense to me. Obviously, the action. I mean, give me that Amazon spinoff like tomorrow. I mean, like Amazons, hello, they were like badass. Wonder Woman was incredible, but need I say more about the one thing that I was the most curious about in this movie was the big boy Blue. And boy, did Zach deliver for me. And maybe
there was no blue, bro. I don't know.
Hey, listen, but just like in Superman and Lois, it's not about how much Superman you show. It's about making the most of him that he's there.
That's great.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, who'd you steal that from, Zeddy?
Zeddy. I stole that from Zeddy.
All right, Cindy, bringing us home on the hype train.
I think for me, it was that I actually emotionally connected with this movie.
Oh,
So
Amazing.
the first cut, there was like, I was like, this is not great. Like, it was really hard for me to like connect with any of the characters. And so it's like when like those big building scenes happened, it was just like, why do I care that this is like it made the action feel more like, you know, I don't know. It felt better than overall than the first one.
Yeah.
Or the 2017 version. But I would say that was like one of my biggest hypes, was just the fact that like I actually emotionally connected with the movie. There was it could have been just me being emotional too, but like when Wonder Woman was like talking to the little girl, I for sure teared up. I was just like, oh my gosh, like I love Wonder Woman, and I love Gal as Wonder Woman, so I'm never sad to see her be like her amazing self. And so
That's great.
Yeah. So that was what I was hyped about.
Awesome.
For sure.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah. I definitely was, as I was watching it, the things that got me really excited was the action beats. Steppenwolf was brutal, bro. Like, you talk about Snyder cut, homeboy was cutting Amazons in half on that battle scene, man. Like, that was not that I like want to see Amazons cut in half, but it was just it did bring like a little like ferociousness to Steppenwolf. Like, it made him seem like he was something to be feared, something to be like, oh dang, he's definitely a threat. Where, you know, in the theatrical, you just didn't get that. You didn't get any of the oh man, this guy is a challenge. I mean, he ran through everybody like a bull. And so they did such a good job at making him, the threat he should have been, because everyone was like, why is Steppenwolf the main guy? Like, and I don't want to, here's what I don't want to do as we talk about this movie. I don't want to critique what we wanted to be in it. We have to critique what was given to us.
Right.
I think that has to be fair. We can't say, well, I wish Lex Luthor was in it with Black Manta. Well, that's not what we got. What we got was a Steppenwolf as an agent of Darkseid film. And so what this version of the movie did is it gave us a Steppenwolf to be feared. It gave us a Steppenwolf that gave us a chance to be, oh, dang, he can take the league out. They need Superman. And so I think they did a good job of setting Steppenwolf up as the dude that's swinging the axe, who's like, man, like when his spike armor stuff pops, like that stuff is rad, man. And I almost expected him to take his axe and like shink and like knock him off, but he didn't have to. He just did like the muscle pop, and then like they all pop out. And so I really like the action beats. The Wonder Woman scene in the museum was the stuff they cut out from the theatrical. I'm like, why did you guys cut that out? Because again, with the music and everything else, it made that scene seem a lot more threatening, because the theatrical felt like a Batman Forever scene, like with the way the music was done and everything. Well, in this one, it just felt so much more like of, oh, dang, like these kids are going to die. And you felt really scared for them. And it's actually the first time, and I think the only time, honestly, in the movie where you felt like people were in danger. That's the only thing. Like, I was really excited about how they did it. I didn't like the blood splots on the walls. I think, these poor kids had to see Wonder Woman, murder men in front of them. And she's like, are you okay? And they're like, yeah, we're great. I'm like, whoa, that stuff's a little more intense than the guys pointing guns at them, I think. But that scene, like her blocking the bullets and stuff, like that first part was amazing. And so I think they did a really good job at that. And that when I walk away from this film, I'm like, man, the set pieces of action were incredible. And so I really liked how they did that. So those were my hypes.
I love it.
So let's get, y'all, you guys pick this. Let's get to the gripes. Here's the gripes. All right. And I'm going to pick the first lady first. All right, Cindy.
It's Justin. I'm just kidding. I'm going to pick the first lady first, and it's like Justin.
I know. Let's go, Cindy.
So my biggest gripe was the entire epilogue.
There we go.
That's fair.
It was so dumb. It was so dumb. I'm sorry. Like, if y'all liked it, I'm sorry. I thought it was ridiculously dumb. And that would be my biggest gripe. I have another gripe, but it's not really. I was like, one of the things, I don't particularly like the way things were filmed. So, like, I get what he was trying to do, like, from a lower perspective, but I'm like, the cut of Wonder Woman's skirt is different. And so I'm like, I don't really want a sexual, like any of the characters to really be sexualized. And that's kind of what happened. Like, I'm like, I got peaks of like Wonder Woman's butt cheek. And it's just like, one thing I liked about Wonder Woman, like in the Wonder Woman movies, aside from like this, is that you don't have that. Like, you get like a powerful woman without sexualizing her. And I feel that way about like the men in the movie too. Like, I had made a joke to Chris about Steppenwolf, because it's like, even he had cake. And I was just like, does this like and I'm like making a joke. I was like, no one's gonna talk about this? Like, but
he's a good looking
it just
It's the eyes.
He's a cute creature, man. I love his eyes.
Yeah.
He's got those sad eyes.
Yeah.
No, but like, that was kind of my feeling. Like, I get like, I think, and I mean, we made a joke in Slack too about me liking the parts where the men were shirtless, and like, yeah, I appreciate that, but that's,
Is that a double standard though?
No. So I also jokingly objectify, like, I would never actually want to objectify anyone, like, regardless of gender. And so, Like, I didn't like it sexualized on anyone. Like, I don't like the butt shots or the crotch shots, or because it's like when you're going from a lower point of view, that's typically what it looks like. And so I don't know. It's just one of those things for me. Like, I didn't like it for anybody, but specifically Wonder Woman, because it's like, I don't want to see butt cheeks. Like, she's a powerful woman. You don't need to then make her like this. I don't know. Yeah, that was just my opinion. But
All right.
I'm also
Eric says we're human. It happens.
like, I can find someone attractive and not objectify them. Like, I'm not like they need to have their shirt off the whole time, but you know, it's not
Aquaman and Superman, they were walking around pretty fragrantly. Just, hey, you know.
But that's always Aquaman. Like, he takes this. The thing that I find funny is it's like he takes his shirt off, but like he still swims in his normal pants, and I'm just like, why don't you just leave your shirt on? Like,
or why doesn't he take his pants off?
I don't need his pants to come off. I'm just
Like
saying,
Neymar,
like,
he can be like Namor, just little green
In a
shorts.
Speedo. In a
In the
Speedo.
Speedo the whole time.
Speedo.
All right.
But yeah,
No, that's fair. All right, Zeddy, I'm gonna go to you, buddy.
I'm gonna
Where's
make this. I'm gonna make
where's
this
your gripes?
real easy. I got no gripes with this movie.
Oh, come on.
I thought this was the Justice League movie that I needed. It's the one that I needed right now. And honestly, if I'm gonna nitpick anything, I just got to remember it was a movie I never thought I was gonna see. And if I'm gonna pick on CGI or something that was filmed 4 years ago, I'm judging the movie based on something that I shouldn't be doing.
It's my boy right there.
That's just me though. Just me though.
all right.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry
Chris,
to disappoint.
give me some gripes, bro. Give me some gripes.
I have a couple, but you know they're like nitpicks. I'm kind of like Zeddy on this one, but I do have some nitpicks. I hate Mira's accent. It was great.
Okay.
She's like magically English for some reason. I also didn't like the order of the epilogue. I thought the transitions were really jarring, and maybe we didn't need all three scenes. I liked all three scenes, especially the nightmare scene, just for the conversation with Batman and the Joker, which
That's my guy.
I'm sure we'll get to.
Yeah.
But I don't think we really needed all three of them the way that they're arranged. And someone else, this is I probably one of my bigger gripes is that I saw some people in chat talking about this too. The amount of slow motion used in this movie, I think, is just a bit much, and I think that the 4 hours, some of that is from the slow motion. It's just constant, and even like Wonder Woman's theme. Anytime Wonder Woman is on
Chris.
screen,
Chris,
nothing wrong
taking
with
issue.
if you're really English. It's
Hello.
Craig's
fine.
our guy.
Cheerio.
Yo, Craig's
I
our
love
guy.
him.
Shout
Hello.
out to
Hello.
Craig. At
When you're
Rob-
really English, it's fine. But when you're
I think
not,
it
and
gave
you're
her a little
forcing
bit
it-
of like regalness, though. Like she's the queen.
Yeah,
know?
but she doesn't have that in the Aquaman movie or
Yeah.
the 2017 cut, so it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But those are my gripes: slow-mo, Mira's accent, and the order of the epilogue.
All right. Emmett.
I think the simplest thing for me would be the musical choices, not the score, because I think the score was amazing, but the soundtrack at times. I think it's when the Aquaman scene where he's walking out on the pier with the bottle and it's like playing this low, slow, I don't know, sentimental music, but it should be like a badass thing. I would expect like a metal music. And the biggest one for me is like, 5 minutes into the movie where those Nordic women are singing.
Yes.
And I don't know why. I guess they're honoring him in some way, but we have no idea what they're actually saying. We don't know who they are. And like, I know Justin, you've mentioned this. Like, she literally smells a sweater. like, why is she doing that?
It's Downy Fresh, bro. It's Downy Fresh.
It's not Downy Fresh. The man, he's stinky.
Fresh,
He's
fresh.
an alcoholic. Like, it doesn't smell good.
It smells like Jack Daniels and
Exactly. I just didn't.
Flounder.
I think there was another music
Flounder.
scene. I think when Lois goes to visit the monument in Metropolis, like just the musical choices just felt a little bit off to me, and they didn't fit the movie at all. Especially when you listen to they're mixed in with the score, which Junkie XL is very like bombastic, heavy drums. Metal and synth guitar, and the movie's 4 hours. It didn't feel like 4 hours, but it didn't have to be 4 hours, which I'm sure we'll get into a lot too. Like this movie could have been 2:45, 3 hours, and
Yeah.
then that would have been just fine. There was stuff in here that didn't need to be in here.
Yeah.
I get why it was now. You know, Snyder wanted to do his thing, make it 4 hours, make it big and bold, and that's fine too. But it didn't have to be 4 hours.
All right. Caruso's, bring us home.
All right.
Bring us home, guys.
Well, you know what? I'm going to copy yours, Justin, because I have to reach for gripes. Like, I really didn't have any gripes with it at all. But you made me think last night when you were on the stream, and I was thinking about today. The Martian Manhunter stuff is hard for me to kind of grasp right now. So I think my biggest gripe was that scene, which was a beautiful scene with Martha.
Yeah.
And Zeddy. What did we call it, Zeddy?
Martha Manhunter.
Martha Manhunter. But when Martha Manhunter, you'll hear that on our podcast. When Martha Manhunter's in there with Lois, because that's a really beautiful scene, and Nick has a great way of explaining it where it kind of makes sense. But for me, I see what you're saying. It was kind of weird. I would have rather him just come at the end and show himself than do that. But it is what it is. Other than that, I don't have a problem with anything in the movie. I really don't.
Yeah, for me, that's a scene that I tried to make work, but like 3 times now, I'm like, yeah, I would have rather just had him in the cameo at the end. I'm not quite sure why the placement is there. Maybe he really wanted General Swanzik, who really worked with Lois a lot, like to feel like the world needs her because Clark's gone and she was connected with him. I'm not sure, but that's not really a huge gripe. For me, while I do think that the pacing's pretty good and the movie flies by all 3 times I watched it, I do wish we got to the Flash and Victor earlier. We don't get to Central City until like an hour 5.
Yeah.
And we see Cyborg once, but we don't really get to his origin until like the 90-minute mark.
Yeah.
But then you sort of need that Amazon action scene to kind of get the wheels going. So Josh Lagern said something great. I'm not sure if he said it on the stream last night or if this was something I was talking to him about on Twitter, but I think Zach's a great director who needs a better editor. Because I think the placement of some scenes at times could have been done a little bit better. For me, I'm going to agree with Chris a little bit in terms of the epilogue. I'm fine with it all because obviously I love everything they did. I wish when Cavill ripped his shirt at the end, it was the blue and red.
Yeah.
I thought the black was just going to be for the battle. That's something I've sort of changed my mind on. But I almost wish we got the whole conversation with Silas after we see the shot of them lined up so that we could sit with the League a little bit more and we don't go to that awkward cut to black. And then just have the epilogue just be the nightmare as like here's a clear, we're adding this on to the end instead of, here's this whole epilogue. That's pretty much it for me. The slow-mo, surprisingly, I thought was cool. Little bit much at times, but he wants you to sit with it. Connie Neeson had a real bad accent slip. Yeah. I feel like to sort of talk about the accent thing real quick, I think it's one of those awkward things where Zach's really going for with this film, like what he wanted to go for. Shout out to my man, Tim. I love Tim. Is that I think he wanted them to all have accents and then they overdubbed her in the theatrical.
Yeah.
And then of course Juan threw that out the door and Zach was like, no, we're going to go back to that. But you know, with accents and stuff, even though she doesn't sound that great, I don't think she sounds awful, but like we have Thor, he talked like old Asgardian and in the films now he's like, hello, the Let's Go podcast, wonderful podcast. I had a great beer there one time with Justin Kowalski, great guy. Hello. And it's like, okay, it's like, all right. And then Wanda's, we know they literally go out of their way to be like, it comes and goes. So
Tim's going to not agree with you now.
I love Tim.
Yeah. So what my pushback on I don't want to compare to like what Marvel does because I feel like it takes away from like
I get that
what's presented. But I 100% agree with you on that. Like, man, I actually prefer the Mara accent. But it is what it is. Like, who knew this was going to come out when Juan did what he did? Man, guys, as I've been processing, I actually have a lot of gripes. I'm not going to go down all of them, but there was one thing that really stood out to me as I was like thinking about it this morning, because I watched a little bit of it more last night. Why the heck does the freaking Justice League of America, like the greatest superheroes of all time, the best strategist in the world is Batman, You know, you have the fastest man alive. You have Wonder Woman. You have Cyborg who can do anything technologically.
I know where he's going.
Why do they have to steal a freaking truck
I know
to get into a museum?
I thought
Like
that too.
it was such an Ocean's 11 heist thing that made no sense to me, and it actually, I know this was in the theatrical too as well, but I was sitting there, I was like, this, because it didn't feel like that was a Snyder scene to me, like stealing a truck and the Flash being like, oh yeah, I'm, you know, saluting and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it did feel a little more like hammy, like Whedon would have done, and I just didn't like that scene. And the whole and still even more backing it up more, I just don't like digging Superman out of the ground. To me, it just, like, when we talk about like disrespect and things like that, I feel like that's actually kind of the most disrespectful thing in these whole movies, is like being grave robbers to Superman. Like it takes away the uniqueness of his like Kryptonian physiology. Like we would hope something else would draw him out of the ground, because we still never got the payoff of the rocks rising. Like, oh, what drew him out? And so that bugged me. And then other than that, it mostly was the Superman not talking to anybody. Once he's Superman, we didn't get him interacting with the League. We didn't get him going, like, even when they're all standing up there on the rocks and stuff. It's cool that he pulls Batman up. There's an interaction, and like Cyborg goes Superman, and he helps him like pull apart like the unity. But there's no, man, guys, thanks for bringing me back. Nothing like them on the ship going, all right, we've some type of like, we're gonna move forward. Like, hey, this is a team. We're going to continue to unite. We're going to do these things. And then I think someone mentioned it last night on the show. Well, I don't know who mentioned. I don't know. Maybe it was Carlos, but I went to sleep on this notion of like, why the heck wasn't Clark in Wayne Manor talking about why are they not all together? Sharing these thoughts of like, hey, this is what we can end up doing as a league. So I just, it makes me frustrated. Pete's asking me a question. He's like, how else do you sneak a casket in the Star Labs? You freaking have Cyborg tap into the security system, and he's all, you have 1 second to get this thing in there, and the Flash just puts it in. Flash can run the speed of light. There we go. Batman sneaks in through the top because he's the world's greatest detective. Like it's like it should even be a non-plot point. As much as the fans like fill in their own gaps on these films for Snyder's, I feel like we can fill in our own gaps on how the Justice League of America snuck into like Superman's spaceship. If Lex Luthor can do it in Batman versus Superman in the broad daylight, the Justice League can figure it out at nighttime. Like it was just a goofy scene, and it was the one thing that stood out to me is like, man, there could have been a better way to make that happen. So
yeah, I wish they kept some of Superman's quips from the theatrical cut. Like, is this guy still bothering you? Or I wish Zach had him turn after he kicks Steppenwolf. It was like, I got him, or something like that.
Look at Nico, because that was the next thing. What did we miss?
Sorry.
That's okay. That's good. What did we miss from 2017? I would like for us to just be a little more free form on this one. So we're going to talk over each other, and I think it's going to get a little more like bam. But keep going with your thought.
On top of that, because what's funny is I tried to articulate this last night, and I think I got it now, is this, it's weird. The theatrical cut tries to pay attention more to what the impact of Superman's death is right at the beginning for the world, and then he's more Superman-y at the end, right, with the team. But I think the rewrites for why they bring him back are ridiculous in the theatrical cut and are really dumb because the team's sort of divided. Batman's kind of a tool. Mm-hmm. So in this movie, I love how they're more united in that, and Bruce operating on faith and really wants to bring him back is awesome. I like how they opened with Superman's death, though, to show it again and have you sit with it. I also wish they maybe kept the Batman rooftop scene just because I wanted someone to verbalize like, oh, it's because he's dead, right? Like, that's why it's bad right now, right? Mm-hmm. So that when he really wants to bring him back again, it's like, and because then when you have that mixed with a little more Superman-y at the end with the fact that he was the Flash's hero and the reason for bringing him back, I think the perfect Superman stuff is actually a combination of both films.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah.
But if I had to pick one film, I'm obviously picking this one.
The only thing I can add to that, Justin, is And somebody said it on the stream last night, but I thought about it. The line that I really liked from the theatrical cut is when Batman's talking to Alfred about Superman, how he's more human than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he fell in love. He got a job.
Yeah.
I thought that was really clever. That's like one of the only things, besides to echo with you a little bit, the rooftop scene with Batman.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think you nailed it on the head. There's really not much more. You know, the Flash running scene is great, but again, that serves no purpose. It's like we could talk about what Zach did at the end. That's just a little Easter egg. That's just some fan service at the end. So I thought that was cool, that scene. I missed it, but it really added no relevance.
When he races him?
When he races
Superman.
I
I thought that would have been cool in here because that's his favorite hero. So
Yeah.
I would've
Yeah.
loved him to race at the end
That's
of the
true.
movie.
That's true. Yeah.
So
Yeah, agreed. I mean, you just can't have a cornucopia of end scenes like boom, boom, boom. Because I felt like there was a lot of that. But I did. That was another one I was going to say is I missed the Flash scene, but I really missed Wonder Woman and Bruce talking after the Superman encounter. Like, first off, she just looks rad. She walks in there with the red tape, and she's just like, they're really connecting, and it felt that they were kind of, even though they were at odds with bringing Superman back in that cut. So whatever, we don't need to go into that, but I did like them connecting. I thought it was a really well done scene. It sets up, just them being on the same page finally, and her caring for him. Like you really see Wonder Woman's like everyone has their like position on the team, but I think this really gave her like, she really cares for everybody on the team. And I'm not trying to say like in a motherly way, but I think as like how there's always somebody on a team who's like, hey, are you good? Or, she's looking after him. And I really like that part of the film. So other than that, I didn't really miss a whole bunch more. I do miss that Batwing coming up. It looks so rad. Because I didn't like the tank. The tank looked cool, but in context of what we got, he was just a digital Batman on top of the tank.
Well, how does that tank move around Gotham City too? Like
I thought it was a nightmare scene type of thing.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't get how he's driving down the road in that.
So it was cool. It was cool because it's it's like a fan servicey thing, but we're like, oh, like we see it in the trailer. We're like, why the crap is Batman have the Darkseid? And then you're like, oh, he's just standing up. It's exactly what we saw. So there's just, I think, it's one of those things. I got 4 hours. I'm just gonna throw everything I can into this 4 hours, and then we'll see what happens. And so, anybody else have things from 2017 they missed?
Go ahead, Chris.
Sorry, go ahead, Emma. I'm sorry.
No, man, go.
Oh, I missed the cell phone thing with Superman.
That was mine too.
Oh yeah,
I really like that. I think that sets up Superman as like a nice figure, whereas some of the other movies he's a bit more violent. He's kind of learning the ropes, so it's expected. But in that one, it solidifies him as Metropolis's hero, and I just love that scene. And I know not a lot of people like it. I like hearing Barry Allen ramble about brunch. I thought that was fun. And I'll die on this hill. Something is definitely bleeding. It's one of the best lines of that movie.
darn it, Chris.
I love that line.
You were the chosen one.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I guess they needed. Okay, Leland says, I guess they needed that one last come together moment between Cyborg and his dad. I like that scene too in the original.
Yeah.
I mean, like all of Zack Snyder's dads though throw themselves into accidents. They're just like like Bruce Wayne literally jumped in front of that gun. Like I'm making a joke. Anybody else in the chat have any?
You had one, right?
Oh yeah,
mine was the same as Chris. I wish that every Superman scene that was in JL 2017 was in this movie, just with better CGI. I think it would have been just fine. And that's my biggest problem with JL 2017 is just the CGI. If that movie looked good, if the CGI on Superman's face was good, I'd still like it. Like I like it now, but I think it would be, better received. Like Zeddy says, he was offended by it. I think if the CGI was just better on Superman's face, it would have been fine. And I wish we got just some of the, like, it's a terrible DC word, but hope. Superman is hopeful in that movie. He does hopeful things. He just looks like a weird mouth weirdo.
Yeah, I think that Superman, the CGI at the end of the film though, I watched it this morning. I did a comparison, and it's the same Snyder's. Most of it's the same Snyder footage. He's just in the blue suit.
Yeah.
I'm
surprised it's how much some of that final battle was Zack's. It was just
Yeah, a lot of
some
people are like,
weird-
the CGI didn't look so bad because there
Yeah.
wasn't any on the face. That's why.
Well, it was just the start, like the opening scene, and then the resurrection scene where he's
Yeah.
holding Bruce, you know. And I even like that line too, where he says, "Ask him if you bleed." I didn't mind that one from JL 2017, but his mouth just doesn't do it. And then at the Kent farm too, when he's smiling in the cornfield, and his mouth just looks way weird. Again,
Yes,
like,
ma'am. That was weird.
I don't want the stuff where he feels itchy
Horror movie.
or
No, it was awful.
Yeah.
all that stuff, but you know, just a better looking Superman is what I wanted from 2017.
I think he was a better Superman at the end of that film, because the other like issue I have with Clark at the end of this film, him not talking, I wish he would have talked. And like Wonder Woman cutting off Steppenwolf's head, I get that's a Wonder Woman warrior thing to do, but I feel like Superman would have been like, even though he just lasered off his ear or whatever the heck that thing is, it just felt very like, Superman, are you okay with this? This isn't like he could have even been like, hey, this is why we need to be a team. So there's some type of direction and leadership here. We can't just be cutting people in half, you know? So I think I do just appreciate the ending of 2017 just the Superman, not necessarily like all the weird plants growing from New Genesis and all that stuff. Like that was weird, but him saying like, man, I'm glad I'm alive to see this. Maybe he could refer to the team being together and not like the weird like Fruit Loop plants, but
well, it's funny too. I thought the final scene with Clark and Bruce at the Kent farm was a Whedon scene. You know, I don't get why Clark is there. People see him. He's Clark Kent. He's alive.
Yeah,
It was
Why,
all along.
but he's not wearing glasses for some reason. I don't know who he is.
dude, this is like everyone's
So-
Tony Stark now, dude. No one cares about their secret.
Well,
identity.
I guess that's what it is, right? He's like Bendis Superman, where everyone just knows Clark Kent is Superman. But you know, I thought that was weird.
Yeah, half the guys loading that house up were probably at the funeral too. You know,
Yeah. What's his name from IHOP?
Yeah.
I didn't understand how why he was back like at the end. I was like, why is he back dressed as Clark Kent? Like Clark Kent is supposed to be dead. Like people can't know that he was like brought back to life, right? Everyone knows he died. Or I don't understand. I'm just like, why are you walking around like Clark Kent?
Yeah,
But
Flashpoint.
yeah.
I do like that point.
Flashpoint.
Flashpoint.
I hope so. I hope something, because it does feel sloppy, but and I think it's okay. Like that's one of the things I think it's okay is to point out, as much as and not taking away like enjoyment. Because I really, you know, I enjoyed this movie, you know, but I am looking at it as like, man, there are some points I'm like, some things just didn't feel very thought out. And I think as we move away, like right now we're in the like, this was awesome. We're in honeymoon phase. But I think if we take a few steps back in a few weeks, and if we look at it a little objectively, we go, yeah, that still doesn't make much sense. But I think it is because he did throw everything in there. And you said it earlier, Nico, Zack Snyder needs an editor and like a good writing team to like, let's synthesize ideas to the best idea. Because some things just don't end up like working long term the more we think about them. And, you know, throwing things like John Jones, I love the Martian Manhunter. I do think as much as I want to see the Martian Manhunter, that's not how I wanted to see the Martian Manhunter. It was so clunky. And he's like, oh, some people call me the Martian Manhunter. Like, what people? Because no one's ever seen you, because you've been hiding out for 3 years as aliens have smashed our planet. Like, there's just there's no reason for him to be there except for that he couldn't put the Green Lantern scene in. Other than that, it's like, just then cut it, because we have 7 other scenes to put in there. So, yeah.
Of all the gripes I have in the movie, I like as we're talking about them now, none of them outweigh how awesome the movie is for me.
Likewise.
Yeah, I
Like,
feel
like the small things in it, like I mentioned about the weird musical things, and we're talking about, you know, we wish where there was more Superman. But the good outweighs the bad in this movie, you know, far greater for me. And like you said, Justin, we're in a honeymoon phase. Like, I want to stay in it. I want to watch this movie again. I've already watched it twice, and I feel like I could watch it again. I wish it wasn't 4 hours.
Yeah.
But you know, the good outweighs the bad. You know, hand over hand for me.
You're so right. And the look of it, I mean, look, it's on par with Endgame or Infinity War or the Avengers. I mean, the way it looks.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not comparing those movies, but they all have issues too. I mean, all these movies,
Oh, yeah.
you could pick apart all these movies and find 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things that really don't make sense. There's off-screen development. There's a lot of weird stuff in these movies. So you got to get your mind kind of beyond that. So for me, I agree with you, Emmett, where no matter these gripes that we talk about, it's still going to stand up there for me with those other movies. I feel now that the Justice League can stand alongside those other movies and you can feel proud of it. Where before it was like, it was like an afterthought. It was like, wow, there's just no way that you could even mention the Justice League with Avengers, with Infinity War, with Ultron. That's how I feel. I mean, that's just my opinion.
I have one sort of because I brought this up last night and it was like in my highlight thing, so it wasn't able to be a part of a conversation. So I actually want to hear from you 5 and the comments. I think why I like this movie so much is they really, really felt like a team and unified for most of it. And what I mean by that is the typical team up movie trope that the theatrical cut went back to is there's always this internal fighting. And I look at and I'm not doing a direct comparison because I'll use Star Wars too. I'll use Star Trek. I'll use Star Trek, Star Wars. I'll use.
Don't you badmouth Star Trek? You can stop that right now.
I won't. I'll use The Walking Dead. I mean, I'll use any show or film where there's always a big team, and there's always this internal fighting. And even in the 4 Avengers films, those main 6, even in the first one, I never really feel like they're always on that same page because that Tony Cap divide is so strong and that carries over into Ultron. They're not together in Infinity War and at Endgame they make up, which is great. And there's also so many more characters that like there's people in the Avengers who have like never met each other and they're fighting there. So I love that we stayed with these 5 people for almost 2.5 hours. And at the end, they're sort of talking about each other. Like we have the moment between Wonder Woman and Aquaman where you find out like they used the same quote and didn't realize it.
They're different races.
You have like the Flash Cyborg stuff. You have the quote that, Wayne says the Cyborg, like the flight's in your nature too. You got the Aquaman Flash scene when he's like, I do care or whatever. You got some other interaction like when Wonder Woman. And then like when Victor at the end, he like says like, I'm going to do that. And all of them are like, are you sure? And he's like, no, like I have to. And when we sort of see them like plan 3 times in the slow pan, when they're realizing they need to bring Superman back, they always feel like they're together. And I can't say that about the Avengers films, in my opinion, always. Some of them, but not all of them.
I love
I
that.
don't know. There's a giant scene at the end of Endgame where like every Marvel character is together. So
but it took 20 movies to get there.
No. They're physically together, but they're not like this movie. Do you get what I'm saying? Like they're not. It's because they're all there to fight. They're not.
Yeah, but again, I think when you start again, what happens is when you start bringing in other universes, you start to weaken your argument. That's why I was like, if you stick to this movie, I agree, your argument is sound. Like they're together, they're on point, they're finding their differences. Once you start saying, but like when Marvel did this, like here's the thing, like this ain't a Marvel movie. Like Marvel did it their way, and it actually like you can say like, well, all the ladies teamed up in the Marvel movie because they're they were like, hey, lady power, let's go fight some bad guys. I think your argument is perfect where it lands, Nico. Like if you say, hey, I like how they connected, like the great moment with Aquaman and Wonder Woman in the van, that was great because we did establish, hey, our kingdoms hated each other, but like look how similar. I think that's all we need, because I think it gives it that strength that you're talking about. Like you just have to be like, forget, like the other stuff works on its own. Like as far as the DC movies go, like I think you put a period right there because I think it works. So
sure, I'm with that.
Yeah, Nico mentioned the scene where they're all kind of talking in the circle and they come to the realization that they need Superman. I love that moment. It really felt natural that they ended at that moment, and then the music kicks in from Man of Steel, and Cyborg shoots the reflector or the Superman on top of the mother box. I love that scene. I think it worked really well, and you compare it to the JL 2017, like where Diana and Bruce are fighting, and Bruce makes that stupid quip about, you lost somebody, or do you do that about Steve Trevor? Like that was so stupid. Yeah. And I just love when it's going around the table and they're all talking about it. And then Barry's like, we're all thinking it. so why don't we all say it? And the music kicks in, and then Cyborg shoots the Superman thing. I love that scene. I think it's really great. And it, like Nico said, it brings them together. You can actually feel it. I actually felt that they were together, and like there was still pushback. Like Aquaman pretty much pushed back all the way up until Barry touched the mother box, which is fine too. I think if they're all rah going against it, that's also not good. Yeah, you know, you have to have a little bit of pushback, and like even when him and Bruce and Alfred are talking, and Alfred gives the pushback about, like, you know, don't wave the red cape at the bull or whatever. I think it's good that they're together, but it's also good that there is a little pushback verbally, and it doesn't have to be physically. It doesn't have to be, you know, I hate you, let's fight for 20 minutes and waste time like that.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, we got a question from the Peanut Gallery, actually the Pete Gallery. He says, what do you like better, the Wonder Woman Aquaman in the van scenario or the Lasso scene from 2017? That's what I'm guessing he's saying.
Van.
Yeah.
Van.
Yeah. I just feel like that Lasso scene was corny. Like, it could have been a cool scene. Like, I think it's the first scene in any of these movies where the lasso is used, besides like in Wonder Woman with Steve Trevor, that stuff's really good where he's just like compelled. But with any other person using it, it was just kind of like it was just turned into a joke, which it was supposed to be, but it was just badly working out. Like with Affleck, this like that like Batman wouldn't do that. I think Batman would say, "You're sitting on a lasso." You would be
you're sitting on something gold and shiny.
You don't feel that. So
you're on the lasso of truth.
It just felt amazing to see them talking and connecting. It was funny that they're like, "Hey, you guys dig? We're gonna stay here and chat."
Yeah, the two strongest people are just chilling.
The reason it's great too is when she's with Batman and they're looking at him on the computer. And she's telling him, I love that line, is he with us more and more or more or less?
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, Atlanteans, you can't trust them. So that's kind of cool. I mean, that's the one thing that this guy does. He does a lot of things that are crazy, but he does throw things in there, and then immediately you get payback on it, like in a few scenes later. So
100%. So this okay, we got Classy Ulysses. I prefer 7 members of the JL than the 6 members in the movie. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get there, and I think at the end they're like, "Hey, we'll make room for more," you know, because we can get Shazam in there, Black Canary,
Ryan Choi.
That's right.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna. I thought something was gonna happen with like some of the energy in there. I was like, oh,
that would have been great.
He's gonna get like some of that Dwarf Star, you know. I don't know. I thought that was gonna happen, but Zeddy, you had your hand up. Did you say you want to say something?
Oh no, I was doing the room for more thing.
Oh,
yeah.
They need another woman though. Cindy, who would you add? I mean, they need.
It's too. I don't know enough of the superheroes.
What was that,
to be like,
he was doing the Hawker.
I don't know what he did.
I love you.
I'll tell you.
What do you think, Cindy? Go ahead.
I don't really know a ton of the female heroes, but
any suggestions?
I'll tell you who I would like, and this is assuming now we don't know, but like, let's say in a perfect world he was getting a sequel. You know, if they weren't doing the HBO Max show, but I'm going kind of there, Craig. I'm going similar. I think actually the perfect in this world, in the world Zach made, I think a Jessica Cruz Green Lantern would be the perfect addition to this team.
Yeah.
Because she's younger. She has a really interesting and sort of, in some ways, relatable, in some ways hard, really personal story. And that I think could be very relatable in 2020 and 2021. And to bring her and have, I think female Green Lantern adding, that would be really dope, in my opinion. And she could be really cool and really popular, man, in the mainstream. That's what I would do.
And they were pushing her hard. She was in a lot of those Lego movies.
Yeah.
She's on DC Superhero Girls.
Is she not going to be in the show? Is she?
No, she is.
She is.
Oh, she is. Okay.
It's Simon, Jessica.
Okay.
Guy, who's Justin's favorite. Guy Gardner. And then
I think Guy Gardner needs to be in. I want a Justice League International film. That's what I want. Oh yeah, Zatanna, man.
She's in this show too.
I think out of all of them, I actually think Jessica Cruz would be awesome. As much as I would like to see Jon Stewart roll up and be like the Earth Green Lantern, Jessica Cruz could be cool. I don't know if Black Canary's up there yet. Like, I would like to see Black Canary in it, but keep her in Birds of Prey and bring another character in could be cool.
Mhm.
And then, but yeah, I like Jessica Cruz, aka another Jeff Johns creation. That's all I'm gonna say.
Somebody
But
mentioned Vixen. That's kind
Oh
of
yeah,
cool, too.
Vixen. Yeah,
That'd be
Vixen would have been
cool.
good too.
That would be good too. Yeah, there you
Vixen
go.
would be cool.
Craig.
I think Batgirl would be cool too if you're not going to have Batman there anyway.
No, that's
Yeah.
a good call.
He's
Craig.
Batgirl.
That's a good call.
That's true. Yeah, I like Vixen though because she's got a cool power set. Like
Oh,
no
yeah.
one,
Yeah.
like there's not a lot of heroes that have the animal like
Mhm.
avatar power thing. So that's just really cool. Miss Martian, Wonder Girl. Well, see, I would keep some of those in like the Teen. We still need a Teen Titans, and we need
Yep.
to like fill those rosters. But
Yeah.
all good. That's like actually really
Season
good.
6 of Titans. I hear it's coming. Season
Season
I'm
six.
waiting for that one.
All right, y'all. What I want to do, I did want to kind of talk about a potential the next step. What do you guys want to see in the next step of these films? We have a few options. We have just completely like moving forward, not dealing with Darkseid stuff anymore, because you could either ignore him or find the next battle. You can go all Nightmare, or you can go let's set up something completely different, like Legion of Doom. What do you guys think?
what we
First
want or
things-
what we think will happen.
What? We can do both. What do you
Yeah.
think, and what do you want? Let's go. What do we think first? How about that?
Hmm.
Emmett, go.
You
Yeah.
go, Emmett.
I think I think the only thing that could possibly come out of this would be a Joker spinoff with Zack Snyder and maybe a Deathstroke one. Like if I think about the other characters, Affleck's not coming back as Batman for another movie or anything. I don't think Cavill wants to do Zack Snyder Superman stuff. Aquaman's got his own stuff going on with James Wan. So if I think about the team, or in what we saw in this movie, I think a Nightmare Joker, a Nightmare, or maybe not even a Nightmare, but I'd love to see a Deathstroke movie directed by Zack Snyder. I think that would be really wicked.
Yeah. All right.
I want a Justice League Part 2 with all of these guys
Yeah.
picking up right after this movie ends. That's what I want, but
Yeah.
not what I think.
All right. Zeddy, come on, man. Zeddy's always so quiet on these live streams. The guy talks all the time, and then you get on the live stream, he's like,
I'm only real when it's useful. Okay, come on.
My man.
Oh man. I'm a good one. There you go. I mean, I feel like Joker's probably the most likely if it's not going to be Deathstroke, but the comments are going to kill me. And I know a lot of people aren't on my side with this, but if it's not
Cavill.
I think Cavill's future rides on HBO Max, and that's just a hunch. I know there's a movie with J.J. Abrams, but HBO Max is the best chance that we got seeing Henry back, because that's with or without Snyder.
yeah. The JJ's movie's not going to be a Clark Kent movie.
But we don't know that.
I thought they said that.
Yeah, no, I thought it's
I don't think it was confirmed.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think.
I don't believe what Warner Brothers says anyway. I mean,
that's true.
I mean, whatever,
you never know. 'Cause
yeah, I
we
mean,
because
would've
Jason
had,
Momoa is still playing Frosty the
Yeah.
Snowman.
I'm still waiting for that. I'm still waiting for that Blackhawk movie by Steven Spielberg.
sure, right,
Maybe that Lobo movie by Michael Bay, right?
right.
Oh,
What about
man.
the new Lads by Ava? Right? They
Well,
haven't even.
hopefully
Where's
that-
that? At,
hopefully-
That better happen now.
Yeah.
That's still happening.
What about
Yeah.
the Batman movie with Matt Reeves? Oh wait, my bad. Sorry.
That's a great thing that you brought up though. Like, I don't know. Like, is Ava's Darkseid going to be this? I don't think she's doing that same.
No way. No way. Tom King's writing that Dark
Yeah.
Side.
No.
Yeah. So,
I
anyways,
don't think so.
yeah, it's the look at last year's only break.
Steady from podcasting. I
He
sure
is
is
busy, man.
Thank
He's
you,
a
for that.
grinder.
Thank you, Tim. Thank
He's
you.
a grinder,
Thank you,
man. He
Tim.
grinds.
He just
Right.
hired an agent too. So
Yeah, he
I
just
don't know
hired
if
an
that's gonna
agent.
change anything. You
It's
know.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
That's trouble.
A lot of trouble. Something I think is going to come from this. I'm going to guarantee you a Deathstroke something.
Yeah.
Because Joe Manganiello is doing a lot of talking about this too. Like he's on a live stream with Snyder right now on Twitch for something where they're going to tease the black and white version or whatever.
Yeah.
And I do think because the Joker sells, and Emmett alluded to this,
Yeah.
and a lot of people, like that Nightmare thing at the end, and he was in a lot of the promo, a lot of buzz, and Leto's actually the one because he's, in award season, he was Golden Globe nominated, he was SAG nominated. He's on these big talk shows, and now on Colbert, Fallon, and
Kimmel was he on Kimmel? I don't know.
Kimmel, he's talked about Zack Snyder's Justice League and playing the Joker again. So he's getting like national recognition for being the Joker again.
Yeah.
Whereas, everything that Zack's done so far in terms of press has been really kept to the internet, like the more of like the social media, the more niche stuff. But Jared Leto, like he even was wearing the "We Live in a Society" shirt on Colbert last night, and was talking about how he would love to do it. He has ideas that Zack's talking to him about it. So I think Deathstroke and Leto stuff you're definitely going to get. What I want is Jail Part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. All the above. And I also really want Jessica Cruz to be the Green Lantern.
Yeah, right.
It's not going to happen.
Such a good idea.
Now that I've said it, I'm like, wow. If that doesn't happen, which it won't, I'm going to be really mad because it's
you never know. That the HBO Max show could be set in like this cinematic thing. Like if Peacemaker's set in the cinematic, then
I would love if like something happens in Green Lantern where like she gets chosen to be the one for Earth or something, so then she gets to join the Justice League.
Yeah.
You could write it. You could do it. You could do it.
I'd love it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't echo. I mean, I think again, Deathstroke Joker is what's going to come. What I would love is, I would love a Justice League movie led by Henry and Gal.
Yeah,
lighter, big epic scope in nature. I mean, I would like Zack to do it, but even if he wasn't the guy, I just wanted, because I agree with you guys. He didn't interact with anybody. And, he is the leader. And I would even do it at the cost of Ben not even being in it, or Ben just in a cameo mode where he's really behind the scenes a little bit. Because let's be honest, he really, in those battle scenes, it's difficult for Batman in the live action stuff.
You take that comment down, Eric.
What do you say?
No direction.
Oh,
by
the Russo brothers. No. Well, I mean, and Justin, I mean, I know you love it, but I mean, Legion of Doom. I mean, that would be like incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, and you could have at this point, you could have Cheetah,
Black Mana.
You could have Black Mana. You could have Luthor. You could have maybe Grodd or Captain Cold. I mean,
I would go nuts.
It's just
Grodd,
so cool.
baby.
But I really wanted, because this movie does leave you wanting more of Cavill.
Yeah.
With the team. And again, I love Affleck. I think he's the best Batman, but I'd be willing to sacrifice him in order to go forward. And the Darkseid stuff, as much as I love the nightmare scene, I'm not really looking for that to continue.
Yeah.
Like a whole movie based on the nightmare with the evil Superman again. Like, I'm kind of moved beyond that. I don't want to put Henry through that. I want it to let that be an alternate reality that never comes to fruition. Right.
Yeah.
Let that be like the Joker tells Batman, how many alternate timelines
have
you changed? So let that go away. Let Darkseid go away. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. Who knows?
Yeah, and if you want evil Superman, you could just watch the show on the CW.
That's right.
No, well, they haven't done anything with it. They hinted at it, and then they didn't touch it for 2 episodes.
He'll be coming back.
Hey, that's why
Everyone
Batwoman needs that
wants to use
kryptonite, dude. That's why she needs that kryptonite.
Everyone wants to use it. It's funny.
Cindy, what do you want? What do you want? Because I want to hear your hot, fresh takes.
Yes.
My hot, fresh takes. I don't think I have any hot, fresh takes. I would be happy to not have evil Superman.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I don't particularly care for it. I'm just like, I don't know. It would be cool to see more Justice League stuff, but I don't necessarily need to see it like a continuation. Like, it would be fine to have some other villain be a part of it. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
I don't.
All right.
Less butt cheeks. Cindy wants less butt cheeks.
Less butt cheeks.
Or longer skirts.
Just better cut. Like, the thing is I went back and I checked, because I was telling Emmett, I was like, is Wonder Woman's skirt shorter? And so I went back and checked, because I was like, I'm not going to be the person that's like, her skirt was shorter and I'm annoyed by it. I went back and checked like the Wonder Woman, and I was like, I think it's the way it was filmed, and just the skirt is cut differently. And so like Zack Snyder's version of Wonder Woman's suit is not the same as like
God bless you, Bear. God bless you, Bear.
I just could go for cannoli right now when I saw that. Let me tell you that.
But yeah, that's just
I agree with you. See, no more evil Superman, man. I think and somebody else, they text no more evil Superman. I just think that's played out. That's done. Let it go.
I like heroes to be heroes. I don't want like heroes to become bad guys.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting when a hero goes dark. I just think it was too early for Superman to go dark. We didn't get enough of the light for us to want him to go back, you know. So I'm with I love the idea like of the Legion of Doom. My wish, because if I was gonna do like I said, I'm threatening, and I might do it somewhere in 2022. The Kowalski cut is coming, and I'm gonna put all the stuff I want together. And look at Nick, no, it's coming, bro. And I'm gonna take out some of the fat of the Zack Snyder cut, add in some of the stuff from the Whedon version. It's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be awesome.
I'm gonna pour some sauce on it. But I like the ending where Luthor hints at a league of his own. I like that because it made me like, oh shoot, it did make me excited. Obviously, Warner Brothers was thinking about it because they wouldn't have put that in there. I think if the box office would have been bigger, we would have kind of headed towards that direction. But I think what's cool about it, it's unique. It's something the other guys aren't doing. Like no one else is doing a bad guy assemblage of characters. So that would be kind of the flip, and it would be the uniqueness that DC would have going forward. But I also would like to do that next and table Darkseid for a little bit, because then have him come back. I think that would be cool. Like, oh shoot, Darkseid, like where'd he go? And then he's back, and it's just like, oh, I'm gonna smash Earth, and he actually like destroys the Legion of Doom too. It's like boom, or uses them as like anti-life soldiers. I don't know, man.
Well, he said he's using the old ways too to get there, so maybe he's just taking a
gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time to get here from Apocalypse. Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, he's driving a little Ford Pinto to get there, you know. But to get there.
Hey, we didn't talk about Desaad. You have to listen to our podcast, man.
Oh man,
I can't wait. Man, he's like the middleman from hell, right?
I'm not gonna lie. When he was saying Desaad, I was like, no, dude, it's Darkseid. You're saying it wrong. Because
I love it.
I just thought like he was funny to me. He was like the guy at the office who's like the second guy who's always like, I told you Johnson couldn't handle that paperwork.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was like Dwight Schrute.
You got a lot of work, Johnson. I'm
Dwight
sorry.
Schrute, Chris.
Like when he's calling
Darkseid.
he's calling him, he's like, Desaad's like, oh, this guy's calling.
He's screening Steppenwolf's calls. Steppenwolf's calling. Oh no, he's calling for Darkseid. No, I'll take it. I got it.
Yeah, right.
This guy's calling back. He's
We've all had guys like Desaad, I'm sure. In our life.
Yeah, I love it. Dwight Schrute as Desaad. It's perfect.
Put that in the Kowalski cut. I want Dwight Schrute.
Oh my gosh. And then I wish Granny had a little bit of a.
I know. I wish she just said something.
She had the hot dog cart in the Flash. Did you see that?
Yeah. She had the what?
She had the hot dog cart in the Flash scene where the hot dogs all.
Did she really?
It's a Granny Goodness hot dogs.
Oh no way!
It did?
Yeah, you didn't know that? Oh yeah, Chris, right?
Am I right? That was a cool Easter egg.
I didn't see that one.
Oh, now I gotta watch it again.
Those look like good hot dogs. I mean, you know.
Great.
All right. Anybody else have thoughts of what they want to see or what was next? Because we're gonna get to we're gonna wrap this show up and we're gonna get to our final thoughts of the show, the whole thing. All right, going once, going twice.
Final thoughts
in the comments below. Send us your final thoughts as well. We're gonna get to our final thoughts, and we're gonna start off with Mr. Chris Evans at the top. His final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I love this movie. I've seen it twice. I really, like I said, my nitpicks are nowhere near deal breakers. They're very small. Like, you know, it just doesn't matter. The movie is great. I enjoy everything about it. I think, yes, it's 4 hours. It's a little long, but the way it's cut, like with the parts, makes it easier if you want to break it up. That's actually how I did watch it the second time. I watched it broken up, and it's still good. I think Snyder nailed everything about this movie, and I'm really sorry we didn't get this in 2017. I think if we would have got this in 2017, we would have been in a very different spot now. We would have had Man of Steel 2. Yeah. We likely would have had a Batfleck movie, maybe Batfleck versus Leto's Joker without the stuff in the nightmare sequence. You know, we would have had some fun stuff. But I love this movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we noticed.
Yeah.
But
Bruce says congratulations at the end.
So.
Had it done in the oven.
Does he say congratulations?
He says congratulations, by the way, or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, He's all, it's mine. Wink, wink.
But that could have been the engagement, though. We don't know.
Yeah.
Engagement or pregnancy. We don't know.
I think that's hitting at pregnancy because all she does is take the box and she goes to the washroom. We don't see her actually, a positive test on it. I think it's just hinted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take that as a yes.
Justice League 3. So. All right. Zeddy, come on.
Why do you always go and all right, you know what? All right.
Why do I always go to you? Because you're on the show.
I am the show. I am the show. I put the show in the show, and y'all
want to hear
know
your
it.
thoughts.
He's losing his mind. Too many Bud Lights.
Yeah.
Man, so the one thing that I forgot to kind of plug with the Superman stuff that I forgot to even say on my own show, which I'm bummed about, is the father twice over thing. That usually I know is kind of about Cyborg, but I actually kind of made a correlation with Superman on it too. And it's when he comes back in the Kryptonian ship and there's like Jor-El and then Pa Kent are like both kind of talking simultaneously. Yeah. I thought it was so beautiful too, because like he's been questioning himself like his whole life. And in the most pivotal moment when he needs both his fathers to kind of direct him, it's almost like now they're in agreement to kind of help him out and guide him to kind of where he needs to be in his life. And I'm somebody that like, I agree with that. It's why I love Superman so much. I always question myself. I still do, even as an adult. So like when his fathers finally come together to kind of put him in the right spot in his life, it's like, a father twice over, because it's both of his fathers kind of being there for him. And then like when he gets his second flight, I just thought it was beautiful. Like, fly now, son. I mean, it's because, his whole life he's been conflicted over which father do I trust, which one is right, which one is wrong. And they were both right, in different stages of his life. So I thought that was beautiful. Final thoughts. Sorry about that tangent. Is no. I thought this movie was excellent. I thought it was well worth the wait. I'm glad this movie came out. Obviously it was for autumn. So first and foremost, I'm glad that Zach got to see his vision through and through, regardless of how you feel of him as a person. As a filmmaker, he deserved to see his vision through. The trilogy is even more better for me. So all I can say is it's a Justice League movie, and I loved it. So thank you.
All right, Emmett.
Yeah, I mentioned off the pretty early on that like the good stuff outweighs the bad stuff a lot in this movie. I had a great time watching it both times. The good stuff made me feel really good. The action scenes are really great in this movie. It's hard. Are we going to do rankings, Justin? Are we going to rank this?
Oh yeah. If you want it in your final thought, you can rank. We can go back to Chris and Nick, but
yeah. So sorry about that. I have a hard time ranking this one because I forget who mentioned. I think it was Cindy. She had an emotional investment in this one. My emotional investment was just in how badass it was. Mm-hmm. Whereas in Man of Steel, there was an emotional investment with the father-son type of thing that invested me. And then in BVS, they're different kind of emotional thing with how well that movie was put together, I thought, with Ben Affleck being Ben Affleck. That's one of his best performances was as Bruce Wayne. Yeah. But my emotional investment in Zack Snyder's Justice League was just how awesome it was to see all these heroes together. And like there's that one scene when they're just about to do the raid on the tower where they're all on the screen together, big action scene where Wonder Woman's face looks kind of funky. But they're all there, and it was really awesome to see all these heroes together. Yeah. And like Chris mentioned, like, I don't know why we didn't get this movie in 2017 or a version of this one. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's not unwatchable. There's nothing in it that's unwatchable. There's nothing in it that I think really scare anybody away. Like, I really don't get it, considering what we did get in 2017. I want to watch it again. I wish it wasn't 4 hours. But I haven't. I've been thinking about it all week, and I've been thinking about it ever since I watched it on Thursday too.
That's awesome. That's great.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. What do you rate? What's your grade? Your Let's Go rate?
I'd give it a Let's Go. BVS and a Man of Steel are both a gotta go. It's not better than those for me, so I can't give it a gotta go. But I love this movie a lot. It's a very strong Let's Go.
Cool. I'm gonna go back to Chris real quick. What's your Let's Go grade?
It's a gotta go for me.
Okay,
man.
Zeddy, surprise me.
I've seen this 4 times. Is it really any shocker what my grade would be? It's a gotta go. Are you kidding me? The best Justice League movie ever. Let's go.
Let's go. All right.
It is the best Justice League movie ever. I agree with you. It's the only
All right.
one.
Cindy,
Yeah.
what do you got?
I was surprised. I actually ended up liking it, and I think
Wow.
this movie kind of turned me around for how I felt about Zack Snyder.
Oh,
So because after watching BVS, I was just like, meh. And I think I don't know. I didn't know what he would have that would be different than the 2017 version. So I was like, I don't know. BVS was not my favorite. It just seems silly. And I'm allowed to say that. So I kind of went into it with like, I don't particularly like the darkness of superheroes. Like, I like them a little more, I don't know, vibrant and colorful. And his movies just tend to be dark, and it's not my favorite. And so, but this movie, it felt different. Like, I for sure, my rating is kind of low only because it's like, I don't ever want to watch a 4-hour movie. Like, I don't. I
Again.
really don't. Like 3 hours is my max, and that's like, that extra hour was I was just like, meh. It was hard for me to like sit. Like, I watched it over 2 days. I didn't even watch it all at once. It was like, I'm not gonna be able to finish this in a day. Like, I don't have time to do it, like with everything else that's going on. But so it's like, for me, I give it more of a go, but just because of the amount of time it is, it's 4 hours. Like, if I'm going to recommend a movie to anyone, I'm not going to invest an eighth of someone's day. Like, it's like, or no, it's not even an eighth. Yeah, it's an eighth of someone's day.
He's at a max now.
Pete's.
Come on, Pete.
He's got a max.
You have no max.
He has no max.
Get
I
outta
know it.
here.
I know
Because
it.
it's like, it was just funny because I hear you guys talking about watching it more than once, and I'm like, I watched it once, and I'm not going to invest another 4 hours into it. So
You guys have-
I know,
you
but
have
that's what I'm
families,
saying.
Little kids, I don't know how you would do it. That's hard, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I agree.
I just don't. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't even, had it been in a theater, I wouldn't have wanted to like hire a babysitter for 4 hours and then be like,
Yeah.
okay, like, it's just, I don't know. It was just a bit much. And I had someone ask me like, well, would you recommend it? And I was like, honestly, it's a 4-hour investment. So while yes, I think the movie is good, it was entertaining, it's 4 hours. So
All right. Caruso's.
Yeah, I mean, look, I love the movie. It's personally, for me, it hit on all cylinders. I finally got a Justice League movie, and I'd be lying if I told you, like, you shouldn't matter what anybody else thinks about it, but it does
Exactly.
feel pretty cool
Yeah.
that, like, Carlos and Cindy and some people have come aboard a little bit, and it seems like, again, we don't really know what kind of effect this has on the mass, on the general mainstream, but for the most part, it seems to be beloved, and it's having a real positive effect on people. And that's all I can ask for. I shouldn't care about that, but it's cool for me now to say I personally love it and then feel like it stands with the Avengers movies. I know that's an insecurity because I'm more of a DC guy, but it feels good to feel like we belong now.
What's your rating?
Oh, it's a gotta go.
Gotta go.
It's a gotta go.
Quadruple B.
I gotta beat Zeddy on that one, man.
For me, I think when I use the words favorite and the best, I mean different things, but it is my favorite DCEU film. It really is, because of all the stuff that are in it, because of all the things that are in it, and you can look at my phone. My man Carlos.
Take your
My man
glasses off.
Carlos. My man Carlos, love him, but no, it's genuinely up there for me. It's a gotta go for me.
All right. Yeah. As I've processed this film and thought about, like, things I wanted, I think I'm I have a huge issue which pushed my grade down. I think when I watched it the other night, I watched it with Matt and our friend Dane, and I was like, all right, this is a let's go for me. Again, I think because it's so much, and I understand the container. Zach wanted to put everything he had into it, but after not feeling like there was no worldly threat here, and it really pushed the movie down for me. Like I didn't feel like the world was in danger because we didn't. And I'm not talking about Russian families at all, but it just didn't feel like there was like, oh crap, you guys, the world's dying. Like the world's going to die. Like people weren't clamoring for heroes in this movie. Only the Justice League knew, and it felt like this like the special ops thing going on. And I wanted like the world to like cheer for the Justice League. I wanted there to be a celebration of like the Justice League saved us and we need them, and Superman's back, because we had the world mourning in the beginning of the film. I wanted the world to cheer at the end and be united because they brought Superman back, because we have this team that's going to protect us from like the scary things that want to destroy us. And I felt like I needed that. I needed a civilian kind of point of view, and it didn't need to be like a family or like one character. I just wanted to see like, oh my gosh, people watching the news, seeing like the terror of Darkseid. Like, oh my god, like no one's gonna know about the Amazons because they're on another. They're like no one knows about them, and like I don't know how many people know about the underwater folks. But like, if there was some kind of like, just pull back the camera a bit and show the world being scared. And I thought about at the beginning of like COVID and stuff, I remember having this feeling of terror of like not knowing what's going to happen in our world. Like, so I don't mean to take it back to a real thing, but I felt like I don't know what's going to happen in the next month, week, or day. Yeah. And that feeling sucked. And I didn't have a certain thing that could like, oh, I'm going to erase all these bad things, because I'm thinking about my family, I'm thinking about work, I'm thinking about all the things. And that point of view would have been so good to relate to, some type of like, we're not going to make this. The world's over. And I didn't feel like we needed the Justice League. And for that, I'm giving it a go. And that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was immensely better than the one we got in 2017. I love Zack Snyder. I think he's a talented filmmaker, but I do feel like he needs an editor. He needs a better writer to work with him, because then I think he's going to make amazing things. I think you're right. I think I said this like 4 years ago on a Batman on Film podcast. Deathstroke is the character he needs to be working on. Like he can make an amazing $60 million budget. You give him something like a 300 budget like he had, that's where he pops winners right there, because he's like going to be tight, he's going to be focused, and he's going to deliver something that's amazing. Other than that, I'm looking forward to the future. I hope that Zach's involved with DC films moving forward. I hope that Warner Brothers learned a lesson from this. Like, you guys are all right. This should have came out in 2017. That 214-minute cut should have come out, and we would have been in a different place. They caused themselves a lot of problems. They did this to themselves. Like greed, fear, not supporting a vision, all that stuff led to what happened here. And I think that they paid for it, and now here we are. And so I hope for the best of these movies, because I feel like Daddy Bats. I feel like I want people to know why these characters are awesome. And the best way to do that is through the films, because that's where most people do. They go to the movies. Not everyone's watching the CW shows, and I feel like if they did, they wouldn't know how great they are, except for the Superman show, because that's like the best. The other ones are kind of degrading, right? I meant that as a little bit of a joke, but because I know poor Chris is like, Batwoman, what the heck happened? But okay. Sorry, Mike, my light is shooting in on me.
Yeah, I was going to say the sun's setting down on you, Justin.
He's brooding. He's brooding right now.
It's like a visual.
It's golden hour for Justin
right now. It's
beautiful. But I do think that
getting an antenna on.
I want these characters to be celebrated, And I talked to a friend today who says that he feels that the DC characters are not in a good position right now because of the mistakes Warner Brothers made. And I don't know if this changes. I hope it does. I hope people continue to watch this and get excited about it and like want to see more, because I want to see more Cavill. I wish we would have got that Batfleck movie. I don't know if we're going to get either of those things now, and that makes me sad, because I love these characters and I want to see more of them. So my rating's a go, but I'm hoping for some gotta go content coming after this. like I say, who knows? I hold everything in my hand loosely, and like I hope that good things come, because what I want us to do is all be excited moving forward, and not to have, like, I know I poke fun of it sometimes because I just can't help it. I'm a pot stirrer, and I don't mean it to be mean. I just do it to, like, let's have a little conversation. But I do want us all to be united in the stuff that we like and have like good, like, I want conversations to be full of like progress. Let's talk about what our differences are, and like, hey, but still celebrate it. There's something fun about poking fun at each other. Like, you like that? You know, I like that. I think I poke fun at Zeddy a little bit, but I love that he has this excitement. Like, man, dude, that's the place to be. The places to be is to be in the excitement, but let's also like be like a strong enough fan to say, you know what, man, I wish they would have done that, because, you know, like Dark Knight Rises is a great film, but I poked the holes in it because I'm like, man, it just didn't feel like it was honest to what the Batman characters are, you know? Right? I know you're laughing. I'm not trying to like bring up any of those holes, but I think it's okay if you love something, you poke the holes. You poke
The Dark Knight Rises connects with me though, Justin.
and that's fine. Maybe it does. And I think there's objectivity. You can be objective and subjective and all that. My buddy Mike, he loves Venom, but he's like, man, that movie was trash. You know? And,
I remember listening to Mike talk about Venom the first time, and then we watched it again, and he was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like that was one of my favorite like podcast moments. Is it's like having Mike on for like when you guys first did the whole Venom thing, and he was like so pumped about it, and then like I don't know, a year later, he was like, "It really wasn't that good of a movie. I need to change my rating."
But that being said, I want to make sure, like, hey, I would love for us to get to a place where we're all happy and celebrating these movies and not being in a place of division. Like Wonder Woman was great, but like I feel like that was a moment of time, and like I'd love to get back there. So that being said, everybody, let's plug our stuff and get off to the rest of our days and nights, because some people want to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League again. We gotta give them some time. So, all right, Caruso's.
Yeah, you could follow us at The Vigilante 1939. That's the podcast we have with Zeddy. You can follow us on Twitter and everything at our names. I'm at NIKKOCAR. Ours is N Crusoe Jr. I have a show with Emmett where we talk about video games. I have a show with Zeddy where we talk about movies and TV, and then I do film and TV reviews as well. Rock and roll.
Okay. All right, Zeddy, jump in there, bro.
You can follow me on Twitter at @PapaZio_95 and somebody else's favorite letterbox at Zeddy Films. You can follow the show that Nico just plugged, Vigilante 1939. You could also go follow The Hitch, which is the trailer show that I co-host with Emmett Davis on this network. Then Let's Go Marquee as well. And then all my film and TV stuff are on letsgopodcast.com. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. All right. Emmett, look at the tethers. Everyone's tethering to each other.
You can follow me, Emmett Davis 7, right there on Twitter. Just go to www.letsgopodcast.com. You'll find all my comic reviews on there. You're watching this show on YouTube. I have a show on YouTube that I do called Let's Go Now You Know. My girl Cindy was on the second episode. It was a lot of fun time. And Daddy Bats was the first episode, which is a good time. And we have a show coming up this Thursday, which is going to be a really fun one. I don't want to tease it just yet. It's going to be a really fun one, though.
Wow.
All right.
Check the Let's Go Podcast Twitter account for more on that one, at Let's Go Podcast.
Awesome. All right,
Wonder
Cindy,
who it could be.
Look out.
Not
look
you,
out,
Zeddy.
Cindy.
Well, Emmett, why would you tell them that? Why would you tell them that? They don't know.
They don't know. They don't know. You can follow me on Twitter at Cindy the Intern. You can find some of my comic reviews on the website. And yeah, I occasionally also am on Twitch streams with some of my friends. And that's actually one of my friends. But yeah, so if you want to follow me on Twitch, you can. It's at Sass Queen Grandma. It's a silly name, but it has so much meaning behind it. It's a silly name.
Check the last episode of Let's Go Now You Know to find the origin of that.
I did talk about my origin of that name. And but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. All right, Chris.
You can follow me at thatchris70 on Twitter. I do comic and sometimes TV reviews for the Let's Go podcast. I also do a show with Mr. Zednick called World's Finest, where we cover Batwoman when it's not on hiatus and Superman and Lois.
Awesome. All right. And then you can find me at j_rocker. You can follow the show at Let's Go Podcast on Instagram and Twitter, or you can go to our website at www.letsgopodcast.com, where you can find all of this content, but you could also buy some shirts to help support the show because we love doing the show. But it ain't free, my friends, but it's free for you. If you want to throw down a couple bucks, that would be so helpful because it helps pay them Let's Go bills. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I'm so glad that we got to talk about this film. I'm glad the film is out. It's going to have some more and more conversation, guys. I know as this continues to go, I think we're going to have a lot more takes. I know we're going to do a little show with the Nerd Room coming up. We're going to talk about the future and what's coming up with all the Zack Snyder DCEU movies and stuff. So we'll probably expand a little bit about our thoughts earlier. So I would love to explore Jessica Cruz some more. You just got me thinking, Nico, about
I
Jessica
know,
Cruz.
man. I want that really bad now.
So yeah. So anyways, all right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and follow us on socials because we would love to continue to have the conversation with you guys. Be our rad friends all over the place. That being said, my name is Justin.
Nico, Daddy Bats.
He's ready.
Cindy!
Chris.
I'm Emmett.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
The Dark Knight Rises forever. Let's go.
Let's go.